Hey, what's up? My name is Kevin and I'm the Helpful Hero, here to help you leverage the awesome power that is HubSpot and release constant theme updates. And I got another one here for you today. I've been banging these things out once a week lately, and it's been going awesome, introducing new modules, and that is exactly what I'm going to show you because I've got a brand new module plus one of the most requested features of the Magic module I've probably had over the last 6 to 12 months. It's finally here, so get excited. It's really small and kind of funny, but nonetheless, we have it for you. I have it for you. All right, before we jump in, I've got to shamelessly plug my Happy Center kits, which I know I've been talking about in many of these videos. If you aren't leveraging HubDB for resource centers, glossaries, FAQs, anything like that, it's super awesome. I'm using it for my own Happy Center, where you're viewing this video more than likely, unless you're watching on YouTube. But the new Happy Center kit basically gives you a whole suite of modules and can get you up and running in no time at a fraction of the cost it would do to do something like this custom. So you get the Happy Center kit and a do-it-yourself for just under $400. Or if you want me to help set it up, just under $600. Or if you use Bitcoin, you can get a 20% discount. You know how much I love Bitcoin. All right, I digress. Let's jump into Clean Pro version 105. Now, I always highly recommend before clicking update, because I know you're excited, I'm excited, my voice is really exciting. But you should always read the release notes, especially if you're jumping from much earlier versions, because I always put important things that you should keep note of. At any rate, let's talk about what is brand new. So the first thing that you can find out is there is a brand new module that I'm calling Table Flow. Now, if you've ever tried to use the tables in a rich text editor, it sucks. They're awful. They look crappy on mobile. They're just a big pain in my ass. Probably a big pain in your ass too, pardon my French. So I finally created a module that can handle a lot more robust tables in the rare use cases that you might need them. Now, I know this is a little bit more boring than some of the other modules that exist and some of the cool layouts, but this is one of the more popular boring questions that I get. So let me show you how it works. First, if we click into the module itself, and go under start here, now you can add up to 12 columns. So you can create a pretty long table. And the cool part about that is, as you do this, the table is basically going to kind of scale much like you would expect in Google Sheets or Excel. It's more of a natural table. Now, a few things that I did add in here are the ability to set a global column width. So column 1, 2, 3, and 4, these are all 200 pixels. Or if you wanted to get a little bit more specific, you could turn the specific width on and then come down here. Maybe we want column 1 to actually just be 50 pixels, which is pretty narrow. But you have that level of control as well. Obviously that looks terrible, it's too narrow, but you get the point here. You have a full wide range of making sure that this is going to serve whatever use case that you're building towards with a table. Now let me show you a few other cool options with this. If we go back into the table, you can see that as you select, you can of course set all of the column titles as you would expect. And then you can go in and basically add as many rows in the table as you want. So if you go into this row, now these are all of the different columns. The one pro tip here is if you set your table to have 5 columns like this, you're gonna wanna make sure that you have the 5 columns like this here. If you add a 6, it's not gonna show, or if you add only 4, it's gonna look a little wonky. So you're gonna wanna make sure that you kind of pair these well. Now, as you go into each of these columns, you have a full rich text editor, which can be really, really useful for adding images, maybe a CTA, or really any sort of formatting that you want. So you have full free range. The other part that's kind of cool is, let's just say, for example, we'll just add some link here. We'll just We'll just consider this a CTA button, but I'm just gonna make it a link for right now. Let's go HTTPS clean.pro, insert that, apply changes. And now we can see we've got this, whoop, did it actually link? Let's just see, HTTPS clean.pro, insert link. There we go. I don't know what, maybe I clicked cancel the last time. So now we have the link here. Now the really cool part about this is if you're like, oh man, I actually want this in like the other column, all I gotta do is just drag this down to the column that you want and boom, now it's in the third column. So you have that level of ability when it comes to really managing this. Now let me show you a couple other things. So if we go over to the Styles tab and you go to the table elements, you can easily control the style, of course. So maybe we want this like a little darker, 1 pixel is fine. Since so many of you, including myself, are a fan of rounded borders, we can always come in here, add a little border radius to our table to make it look a little bit better. And then of course, control like the background color. You can even control the scroll bar color. So like if we give this like an orange tint, well, we can't really see the scroll bar right now. However, if we were to come over here and maybe like add up to 7 columns, now you can start to see that orange border, that little scroll thing. So you have full style control. Now, of course, this looks a little wonky right here, and that is because we don't have enough columns, just like I said a moment ago. So we would want to make sure that we have an equal amount of columns for what we've set, and boom, looking much better. So you have a lot of control when it comes to how this is going to look and work across desktop, tablet, and mobile. So have at it, have fun, build your tables, and yeah, have a great time. All right, let's move on. And you can kind of see the little sneak preview right down here, and that is the Magic module now has a new content element that I'm calling custom bullet points. One of the things I always get requests on is like a little black dot bullet points. They're not awesome. So now in the Magic module specifically, you can have this little content element where you can come in and select custom bullet points, which is right up top, and you're not gonna be able to miss it. And then you can add a bullet point item, as I'm calling it, which is just like some text. And then come down here and be able to select the type of bullet points you want by selecting from all of the HubSpot icons that you have to choose from. Of course, change the color, change the size, and things like that. Fairly simple, but can definitely give you a little bit more pizzazz, if you're into that sort of thing, for your websites when you want to call out important features. And that's what I got for you in version 105. If you have any questions, always feel free to hit me up. If you have any requests, I love incorporating your feedback, much like the custom checkboxes. That is what has helped me make sure that Clean Pro is like the #1 most awesome theme for HubSpot. With that, I'm out. I'll catch you next week, probably with another update. All right, later.